For this video, I've used Car and Driver's top 25 bestsellers in the United States and ran leases on all of them using June's rates and residuals. Just some disclaimers real quick before I start. All these numbers are for June 2024 and all estimates expire at the end of the month. And actually, in most cases, right up until July 4th weekend. They're for 2024 model year vehicles unless I say otherwise. The deals are assuming 36 months and 12,000 miles per year. Also, assuming you're covering your dealer and state fees at start and won't include your state sales tax. These numbers are assuming you've got a 720 FICO score. And lastly, I'm just some guy on YouTube at the end of the day. Please always do a bit of research to verify accuracy of these estimates and even try to do better. Diving right in. Starting off at number 25, the Ford Escape. Inventory has increased by a couple hundred units and the residual and money factor have stayed the same at 50% and 2.04% APR. Because residual and money factor have not changed since last month, our payments have stayed at $458 if you got it at the dealer's cost and about $516 if you paid full MSRP. Also, if you have a 1995 or newer Jeep in the household, Ford will knock off another $1,000 as a conquest rebate. How do I know invoice cost and rebates, etc.? I have a cheat sheet that tells you how I pull all this info using public data. $25. You'd be kind of nuts not to get it. Link in the description below. At number 24 is the Subaru Forester. From 11,000 units last month, we are now at 6,400 units. Inventory is flying on the Forester. We've got about 1,300 limiteds in stock and more availability on the premium. On a $36,000 MSRP limited all-wheel drive, your dealer invoice price would be just a touch under $34,000. Money factor and residual have not changed and our payment range would stay at $437 at invoice and $500 at MSRP. At number 23 is the Mazda CX-5. CX-5 inventory dropped again to 19,000 units from 22,000 last month, 7,500 of those being the select all-wheel drive. Money factor nice and low at 0.00138 with the residual staying the same at 61%, bringing the payment to $380 at invoice and $401 at full MSRP. At number 22 is the Jeep Wrangler. Jeep Wrangler inventory steadily growing, going from 21,000 units last month to 23,400 this month, 5,000 of them being the Sport S 4x4. I wanted to say something specifically about the Wrangler. There's a lot of people scoring unreal deals on Wranglers and Wrangler 4xEs that have nothing to do with any of these programs, residuals, etc., but more so on their ability to shop the deal around aggressively and utilize the 4xE's EV credits. I want you to pursue lease deals in the 400s on both the 4xE and the regular Wrangler. Just trust me, okay? 400 is the way to go on a Wrangler at the moment. At number 21 is the Subaru Crosstrek. Inventory has increased since last month, which is great because it has decreased substantially in the last few months. And as you just heard, the Forester is not growing in volume either. A 67% residual this month and a 0.00297 money factor, bringing payments to $355 at invoice and $377 at MSRP. At number 20, the Subaru Outback. Subaru keeping Outback inventory floating at around 18,000 units to 19,000 units month to month. Of the 18,000 units available, 3,700 of them are limiteds. Residual is 61% and money factor is 0.00177, making payments at invoice at $488 and at MSRP we're at $560. At number 19 is the Toyota Highlander. Highlander inventory absolutely dwindling down to nothing. A third of all Highlander inventory are XLE all-wheel drives. A 62% residual this month and a 0.00198 money factor, bringing payments to $509 at invoice and $622 at full MSRP. Again, you guys, How I find all this information on my own is on my cheat sheet. You can access it by clicking the link in the description. Solid purchase for 25 bucks. This price could change, by the way, any day now. At number 18 is the Ford Explorer. 2,000 less units this month, dropping our inventory count to 31,000 Explorers. Still quite a bit of Explorers though. 11,500 of those being the XLT 4x4s. Program is the exact same as last month. At invoice, you're at 606, and at MSRP, you're at 660. Push to get into the 500s on the Explorer 100% because inventory is super high. At number 17 is the Honda Accord. Accord inventory is slightly down from last month, but just slightly. 6,800 of these 9,000 Accords we have are the EX. Program has not changed, and we're still talking about 333 at invoice and 380 at MSRP. At number 16 is the Civic. Civic inventory has dropped again this month, dipping to 10,400 units, 5,700 of those being the Sport. Residual dropped 1 point to 63%, and the money factor stayed the same. However, we did get a modest increase of 500 in lease cash, dropping our payment range to 301 if you got it at invoice and 345 at full MSRP. At number 15, the Hyundai Tucson. Inventory now down to 11,000 units, dropping from 13,000 last month, with 4,000 of those as the SEL all-wheel drive. The lease program has stayed the same, right at a 63% residual and a 0.00255 money factor. With $2,250 in lease cash, our payment comes out to $347 at invoice and $403 at full MSRP. At number 14 is the Chevy Equinox. With only 14,500 units on the ground, you've got an equally distributed selection of inventory, and we're using one of the 3,000 1LT all-wheel drives for this calculation. A 60% residual and a 0.00165 money factor is making for a lease payment of $414 at invoice and $447 at full MSRP. At number 13, the Toyota Corolla. Do you know that there are only 4,000 Corollas in the country right now? 2,700 of them are LE front-wheel drives. It's got a 57% residual and a 0.0019 money factor, which brings our payments to $352 at MSRP and $302 at invoice. At number 12 is the Tesla Model 3. The Tesla Model 3 is leasing out at check the Tesla website per month at invoice and check the Tesla website at full MSRP. Just an unreal lease deal. At number 11 is the Toyota Tacoma. Another 2,000 units added to the total inventory this month, up from 9,000 last month. Same 77% residual, however, the money factor dropped to 0.00292, bringing our payments to $421 at invoice and at MSRP about $519. Use the cheat sheet to find out up to the minute programs on any vehicle, trim, and zip code you need. At number 10 is the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Jeep has tons of inventory available and rebates coming from the manufacturer to the dealer. There are plenty of folks telling us on the forums online that they're seeing deals on the limited gas model in the 400s and a 4xe in the 300s to 400 range. Pursue the most aggressive deal you can just by collecting as many quotes as possible and persisting on 400 or less per month. Trust me, one dealer will do this deal at 400 or less. At number 9 is the Nissan Rogue. A very sharp inventory rise this month, going from 25,000 to 28,000 units. We've got a 67% residual this month and a 0.00237 money factor, as well as some bonus cash in my region. Again, refer to the cheat sheet to pull your region's data. At full MSRP, we're at $422, and at invoice, we're at $367. Nice little $20 drop from last month. At number 8 is the Toyota Camry. Camry inventory continuing to drop, went down to 7,500 units from 9,000 last month, 2,700 of those being the SC front-wheel drive. It's got a 54% residual and a 0.00137 money factor, bringing us to $359 at invoice and $432 at MSRP. At number 7, the GMC Sierra. Sierra inventory has increased again, going from 37 to 39,000 units. Identical program as last month, calculating to payments at invoice at $662 and at MSRP at $763. At number 6, the Honda CR-V. A decrease in inventory this month, going from 14,000 to 12,500 units, a 62% residual this month, and a 0.00143 money factor, resulting to $419 at invoice and $445 at MSRP. At number 5 is the Tesla Model Y. Tesla coming out with an insane lease deal at, check the Tesla website, dollars per month at invoice, and check the Tesla website per month at full MSRP. At number 4, the Toyota RAV4. What? An increase in inventory? It's got a 62% residual and a 0.00227 money factor this month, bringing our payments to $450 at invoice, and at MSRP we're at $518. At number 3 is the Ram 1500. Ram inventory is just exploding. 42,000 units, now up from 37,000, with 9,100 of those as Laramies. At invoice we're at $639, and at MSRP we're at $749, but you would be insane to not push for well below invoice, especially loyal Ram customers, because you guys have some major rebates available to you. At number 2, the Chevy Silverado. Chevy did see another dip in inventory this month on their number 1 seller. Of the 63,000 units, 14,500 are LT 4x4s, and the program did stay the same, keeping payments at $578 at invoice and $666 at MSRP. At number 1, the Ford F-150. Ford has added nearly 20,000 units to their roster in 1 month. They've got 60,000 F-150s, with about half of those as being XLT 4x4s. No change to the lease program, a 65% residual and a 4.42% APR, making our payments $660 at invoice and $747 at MSRP. Check out my cheat sheet by clicking on the little box to my right. $25. Don't be nuts. Just grab it. If you found this information useful, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.